Hey guys, Jeff, Digital Gate Studios. Today we are doing a fun little segment that we have started, our update series, where we go through and we talk about decks that we've been, we already shot a video for, and then we started testing the crap out of it even more. We've just been working so hard to make it even better.
And we've been getting advice from people on Discord because we post these videos, people like them, they love them, but they also like to give us advice on what they would change. And a lot of that advice we take to heart.
So this particular video is about Yellow Wargrey into the Red Wargrey X. So I have been having a blast with this deck. I've been taking it a bunch of places to play test. I've been playing a lot of online games. I've been having outstanding community outreach and made a great new friend over this deck, and I absolutely love it. So I just had to give you guys my most recent update to the deck, and then I want to do something a little special, and I know I didn't ask for your permission ahead of time, but your deck list that you shared in our Discord is just so good, so we're going to post that at the end, so please stay tuned. I'm going to show you guys my deck list, and I'll show you the awesome deck list that he came up with, the same kind of concept. So we're going to dive into the eggs first. So here's the first change of the deck, and I do think it is important to notice that this is a change.
Right off the bat.
Right off the bat. So I was originally playing the BT5 core that allowed me to draw cards. I was so worried about not being able to have the pieces that I needed when I needed it. I actually decked out because I drew too many cards against, a purple player who was hitting me with Chaos Dags, Flame Hell Scythes, doing a good job controlling the board, and they decked me out. So I also decided that I wanted to have more consistency, more, a higher DP with all of my bodies with this Koro. So I'm a huge fan. And honestly, just switching these eggs won me, a bunch of games. So I was definitely happy for it. If you like 5 eggs, you can definitely still play this, as a fifth, right? The draw is not bad. You could do a 2-3 split, 3-2 split, however you want to do it as well. This is what I recommend. I just like the 4. I'm kind of basic and like to be consistent.
I feel like you're spoiled. Like your deck was I drew too many cards in red. Yeah, you don't hear that very often.
Which is crazy, especially. But to support the strategy even more, we're still sticking with basically the same level 3s. I did cut one level 3 to make room for a little bit more of a top end, which is not something that I normally do. For those of you that know me, normally I'm way low to the ground, play a lot of level 3s. But I actually decided to cut. So I cut one of these Agumon. I still am a big fan of this Agumon, and there are sometimes moments where it's like, I wish I had a little bit more of that particular one. But this Agu is good. Still a big fan of it. I still think that should be the 4 of. Still playing 3 of the Searcher Agumon from BT5. I definitely think you could make the argument to cut one more of these to go to a 4th of that. And that might be something I tinker with, but don't worry, I won't shoot another update video. Just if I try it, you can message me in the Discord, reach out to me on YouTube, and I'll be sure to let you know what I did. But this is 100% the same, and that ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
Just love the Agumon X-Antibody. So, again, I decreased the number of level 3s by 1, right? Because the more traditional Wargrey X decks are usually only playing 12 level 3s anyway, so I kind of kept in line with that strategy, right? To play a little bit more of a higher top end. So we'll dive into level 4s next. Still playing the Security Attack +1 Greymon. That is definitely the strength of this deck, whether it be swinging with our Rise Greymons, whether it be swinging with the Yellow BT4 Wargrey. The Security Attack +1 is just so good for this deck. Does a lot of work. Here's a change I made. I'm only playing 1 now.
Only 1? Only
1 of the BT5 Greymon. It's still a great card, and if I played a 60-card deck, I would 100% be playing more of that. I am a big fan of this. But the biggest thing was I wanted to increase my hybrid for game. So that's unfortunately what suffered. So I thought the Security Attack +1 was too important. And I thought the Greymon X is still too important.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, not being able to be deleted by effects. Super strong to this deck that is aggressively swinging into security. It's just
between that and the Agumon X-Antibody. I mean, if you're looking at it, that's why you don't need the.
That's why I draw so many cards. Yeah, absolutely. Exactly. Once I'm set up, once I'm rolling, things are just flowing really nicely. Yeah, so definitely a big fan of it. But I had to play 2 Agoonies. So my first list was only playing 1 Agoonie, and there's probably a lot of people who do prefer that 1 hybrid style where, and in purple, I'm 100% a fan of it because you have ways to recycle that hybrid, whether it was hitting security, whether you send it to the bottom of, or not to the bottom of the deck, whether you went to trash, whether it was whatever, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of ways
to get that back. in this deck, if you don't see that that hybrid, sometimes you just lose. So I really wanted to maximize the ability to end the game when I needed to, so I decided to ultimately go to 2 Agoonies. And I'm still loving these level 4s, or level 5s, these 4 of Rise Gray and Rise Gray X.
Yeah.
They're just so devastating in this deck. The Rise Gray being able to Digiburst, especially when you create a fat stack to load up a bunch of Tamers on board. Again, they have to be red and yellow. The Rise Gray X to be able to then get plus 1k for each Tamer, also being able to play a Tamer in Digivolves, doing minus 2k per Tamer. It's crazy. These level 5s are crazy. Unfortunately, we don't get the additional security tack like the Metal Gray X does, but we have our own ways of doing things.
You don't need that though. I mean, the best part is how many Tamers that thing produces.
Absolutely, yeah. So it's still an absolutely devastating deck. A huge fan of it, and what's great is this Rise Gray X is like a really solid backup attacker when you just don't get your 6s, or when you don't want to Digivolve outside the raising area. You want to just keep swinging with that Rise Gray X. He's a very big, beefy body. So,
also, the inheritable is great on that Rise Gray too, because it pops the little bodies.
Yeah, no, absolutely. The card's still great. The card still does tons and tons of work. Big fan of it. Like most of the deck you guys will see if you've seen our previous video is the same, right? Again, I just kind of made, change here, change there to improve things. But here is something that I've kind of been tinkering with, right? Like originally I wanted to remove an Omnimon X or Omnimon because I finally have been convinced to play this Omnimon X.
So you're doing 3 and 3 of the Wargrey and
3 and 3 of the Wargreys, right? So it's
that didn't change, right?
That didn't change. Okay. No. There are times where sometimes I wish I had more of the Yellow Wargrey, but you'll kind of notice that you do have a lot of strength with the Wargrey X, and sometimes you just don't want to brick. So I think this is a good number. Great place to start. The Wargrey X is just devastating. This Wargrey is really strong for multiple swings, aggression, and body removal, doing the minus 6k. And then I've decided to add in a higher top end. This is not normally like me. Normally, I will put in my 7s, I'll put in my Blitz Omnis, but I kind of just stop there. So I've just been messing around with this Omnimon X-Antibody. I've just been liking it more and more and more. It just does so much work, especially when I pair it with the option. I changed my options completely. There were originally only 2 X-Antibodies, and I think it was like a Gaia Force and a Sunrise Buster in our first video. And I tried going to 2 Gaia Forces, and it's just... What I found was it wasn't the removal that I wish I had. It was the X-Antibody option to enable me to Digivolve, right? Kind of like that pseudo blitz that it does when it swings, right? So like, for example, this whole Wargrey is multi-swinging. This isn't a once per turn when attacking. So I was like almost foolish not to take advantage of that when attacking option there, right? So I decided to increase this, and oh my goodness, the consistency through the roof. I love this as a 3 of. It's incredible. It feels great. It's really nice just to go from Yellow Wargrey, swing, unsuspend, X-Antibody into the Red Wargrey, swing, Blitz Omni, swing, X-Antibody into the Omnimon BT10. Like, there's just so much strength to this deck, and this Omnimon is so strong. Not only is he a big 16k body, so I made my security deadlier for those that are swinging into it. Now I'm trashing the opponent's security. Now I'm, sending their highest level to the bottom of the deck. It just does so much work. So my Tamers, I ended up changing as well. I ended up 3 Marcus and 3 Ty and Karis. So I'm doing the 3-3 split. So I definitely want to talk about my friends list in the Discord channel that has been working on his. He's decided to go the cool boy route, and I definitely understand why he went to the cool boy route. He is a outstanding Wargrey X player, and he does a really good job with the black Wargrey. He just plays all things Wargrey that are red, part red, whatever. He's killer player, and he really understands the value of the cool boy. And he and I just had tons and tons of testing where he was able to show me the strength of that cool boy. It's definitely really inspired me in other decks. So I'm definitely not opposed to playing cool boy in this deck. Or we were even talking about it, playing the Ty, right, instead of Marcus, because the Rise Gray can still have enough sources to have an additional check as well, right? I'm personally more of a fan of this kind of strategy.
Yeah.
The Marcus, I might be taking away that ceiling, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like I'm a little bit more consistent in how I did this. So definitely I'll be posting his list here in a second. And in this video, right, and you guys will be able to try both out and let us know what you think. But the Marcus is nice, gains memory. This Ty and Kari, though, just gains me memory, especially when I'm burning my own security and I'm being aggressive, swinging for multi-checks into theirs. All of a sudden, this Ty and Kari is live really, really quickly, and they can't stop that memory gain. It's just gaining me so much memory that I'm able to do all of these things that I want to do, create this giant stack going from this Wargrey to this Wargrey to this Omni to that Omni, all in one turn, and just have a devastating move. And it gives me extra consistency for the Agunimon to Digivolve on top of, because I did decide to increase that in Agunimon. So this is my Wargrey list. Again, I'll have that video posted, and we're going to put it on screen right about now. So here it is, guys. This is his list. What I really like about his list is he's playing those cool boys. He's got the cool Hero of the Skies to really increase that draw power. He is playing, yes, less ratios than me. Again, that just comes back to me playing from the very beginning of set 1 when we didn't really have draw options besides, we didn't get Heir of the Dragons in red till set 4, right? We had Boring Storm in set 1, but I was never much of a blue player, right? So, like, in order to draw and stay consistent, no mulligan played in any events, right, is you played a lot of level 3. So that's kind of been instilled in me since the very beginning. And this is not a knock on anyone, right? So for the Wargrey players that know Wargrey and know that they can play less level 3s, less level 4s and 5s to increase the overall ceiling of the deck, definitely try this version out. You're going to love it. You're going to love how strong the Rise Grey is, because the Rise Grey may not be able to play the Cool Boy for free, but it still gains the plus 1000 DP on your turn to make him an incredibly strong body. So definitely try both versions out. Let us know what you think. We would love to hear you guys' thoughts.
Awesome.
Thanks. Bye.